Coming soon, Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news and going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. And the first topic I want to talk about today, DC the other day dropped a bombshell of information. Not only did they announce pretty much their upcoming slate, we didn't get the titles, but we got several release dates, but they also announced a new date for Batman v Superman. So Batman v Superman has actually moved up about 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, and it's now opening up March 25th, 2016. So we're actually getting it a few weeks earlier. Now, one of the big things about this, a lot of people have been saying, who's gonna play chicken, who's gonna call it? I've been saying for a while that I did think that DC would probably be the likely one to move, but out of both of them, the Batman v Superman is gonna make more money. And it would have made more sense for Captain America to move out of the way, but again, only if Marvel wanted that to be a mega successful hit, which they don't need it to be. Batman v Superman, on the other hand, they need that to be a big hit. So it made sense for them to get it out of the way, to just stop talking about whether or not, are we going to move, are they going to move, are we going to move, are they going to move? It didn't matter anymore. We said, okay, we're going to get it out of the way because that's going to give us a bigger gap between our next project. So again, Batman v Superman's coming out on March 25th, 2016. They've announced 9 other release dates for DC-related films. And those release dates are August 5th, 2016, June 23rd, 2017, November 17th, 2017, March 23rd, 2018, July 27th, 2018, April 5th, 2019, June 14th, 2019, April 3rd, 2020, and June 19th, 2020. Now, speculation has been rampant as to what these projects are going to be. The dates don't fall in line with Nikki Fink's report from a couple of months ago, but at the same time, it's similar. It's a very similar type of report. Now, maybe they've just retooled it a little bit, and if that's the case, that could mean that we are getting Shazam right after Batman v Superman, and then we're getting a Sandman film, and then we're getting Justice League, and then a Wonder Woman film, and then a Green Lantern team-up movie with The Flash, and then Man of Steel 2. But on top of this, a website called ScreenRant.com, which is one I definitely recommend people to check out because they're great for all their movie news. They actually came out with a really great article showcasing that out of all of the studios, we're going to have upwards of 40 superhero-related films in the next 5.5 years until 2020. So I have the list right here, so I'm going to run it down. A lot of these are rumored, so they're not actually officially announced yet, but this falls in line with what will happen based on the successes of these films. Now, one of the dates on here I do think is actually going to be a lot later, but I'll get into that afterwards. So I'm going to run this down. There's going to be a lot of dates here, so just bear in mind. These are all either Marvel or DC properties. Let that sink in. These are just based on either Marvel or DC, from Fox, from Sony, from Disney, and from Warner Brothers. So here we go. In 2015, we have Avengers Age of Ultron on May 1st. We have the Fantastic Four from Fox on June 19th, 2015. And then we have Ant-Man on July 17th. So we have a pretty crammed summer, but we just have the 3 films. Jump to 2016. 2016 goes from 3 to 6. So we have Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice on March 25th, 2016. We then have Captain America 3 on May 6th. Then we have X-Men Apocalypse on May 27th. Then we have an unannounced Marvel date of July 8th, 2016, but me and everybody else out there is pretty much confirmed that this has been Doctor Strange. Then on August 5th, 2016, we have the first unannounced DC film. Then on November 11th, 2016, we have The Sinister Six from Sony. Jump to 2017. This is where the one date I think is in conflict. I don't think it's here. I think it's much later. But that's the Venom Carnage film in 2017. Still, I believe that that's going to be 2018 or 2019. We also have the unannounced female character Spider-Man movie in 2017. We have The Wolverine 3, scheduled for March 3rd, 2017. We have an unannounced Marvel film on May 5th, 2017. Then an unannounced DC film on June 23rd, 2017. Pretty sure that's going to be Justice League. Then we have on July 28th, July 14th, 2017, we have Fantastic Four 2. Then 2 weeks later, on July 28th, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Then on November 3rd, we have an unannounced Marvel film. And then 3 weeks later, on or 2 weeks later, actually, on November 17th, we have an unannounced DC film. Let's go to 2018. So 2018 has The Amazing Spider-Man 3. On March 23rd, 2018, we have an unannounced DC film. May 4th, 2018, most likely Avengers 3 will be the unannounced Marvel film. July 6th, 2018 is an unannounced Marvel film. July 13th, so a week later, we have the unannounced X-Men film. A lot of people are assuming that's either going to be a Gambit movie or that's going to be an X-Force film. I can see it more so being, I think, Gambit, because I think they're further along with Gambit, even though X-Force has been in development longer. We already know that Channing Tatum is, for all intents and purposes, he is signed on to play the role. Laura Shuler Donner came out and said that he's the guy. The contract hasn't been signed yet. It hasn't been officially announced by Fox, but he's the guy. Then on July 27th, so July of 2018, let that sink in. July of 2018, we're going to have 3 superhero films, one from DC, one from Marvel, one from X-Men. And also most likely Amazing Spider-Man 3 is going to be thrown in either June or July in there. Then we have November 2nd, 2018, we have an unannounced Marvel film. I have a feeling that's either going to be Thor 3 or that actually, Thor 3, that'd be a little bit farther out. I think that may be Black Panther. Then we go to 2019. This is a little bit further out, so I don't think we have their full schedule yet. But 2019 has April 5th. 2019 is a unannounced DC film. A lot of people are speculating that's going to be The Batman. May 3rd, 2019 is the unannounced Marvel movie. Speculation has that being Iron Man 4. And then June 14th, 2019 is an unannounced DC film. But there's no idea really as to what that's going to be because we don't know where DC is going to be pulling from. We don't know if it's going to be Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. Or if it's going to be Green Lantern, Flash, Green Arrow, Cyborg, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. We still don't know what their lineup's going to be. And then in 2020, which is the last year on here, April 3rd is an unannounced DC film, and June 19th is an unannounced DC film. Marvel's going to fill in those dates probably at some point. But the thing to think about with this as well, where was it here? So we only have X-Men related films until 2016. So most likely we're either the Fox Marvel film in 2018 is going to be just a Gambit spinoff. That most likely means in 2019 we're going to have another X-Men type film or something of that sort, maybe in 2020. But also we're going to have another Fantastic Four movie or the potential Fantastic Four X-Men crossover movie that we've been hoping for a long time. There's also rumors that one of these projects will be the Deadpool movie. Especially considering that amazing footage that leaked out during Comic-Con. That was incredible. And I still have a high-def copy of that video. And it's just amazing to watch. Rob Liefeld, who's the creator, actually even tweeted out a picture when they were shooting the motion capture sequences with Ryan Reynolds sitting on a box, which was the side of the overpass that he was sitting on. He's got his motion capture suit on. He's got the crayon sitting right next to him. So I just thought that was really great. And right now there's a campaign online. If you want to go, I believe JoBlo.com is one of the main websites that's championing this, but you can also find it on Twitter. I retweeted it. Rob Liefeld is asking people to retweet his tweet that he sent out about to get the studio jazzed about doing a movie, actually greenlighting this property. So I definitely recommend for people to do that if they can. So when you add all these things together, and we have a couple of more films put into the 2019-2020 spot, there's almost 40 DC-related films coming out. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to get an Aquaman movie. We are getting Justice League. We know that. There's going to be a Shazam film. We are going to get a new Green Lantern. We're going to get a Wonder Woman film. We're going to get a Man of Steel 2, a true sequel to the Superman Man of Steel film. We're going to get The Batman, or whatever the title is going to be. We're also going to get a Justice League 2. But that still leaves one of the properties, like one of the announced dates. If all of those movies get made, there's still one date left. And I'm wondering if they're going to have enough backbone to try to do a Martian Manhunter film, because that would be weird. That would be just a weird film. I mean, Green Lantern's weird, but Martian Manhunter, that would be even weirder, unless they go the police procedural route, which I hope they don't, but they probably will. It's not likely to be that, but that to me, I would be over the moon if they did a Martian Manhunter movie, because that just shows their confidence in their brand. They're like, we're doing what Marvel did with Guardians. We're going weird. We're going hardcore weird, and hopefully people will accept it. But on top of all these release dates, Warner Brothers also announced two WB event film release dates, and they are planned for November 16th, 2018, and November 20th, 2020. And a lot of people said, "Oh, those are the Justice League dates because they're event films." And no, I personally don't think that's the case. And I've read a couple of reports online that kind of back this up as well. In November of 2016 is when we're getting Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the first spin-off of the Harry Potter franchise. Well, November 16th, 2018 is exactly 2 years later, and November 20th, 2020 is exactly 2 years later. That seems likely that those are going to be the second and third installments in this Fantastical Beasts trilogy that we're going to be getting. We still have lots of time for this to be announced. Again, remember, we're in 2014. They've announced release dates up to 2020. It's erroneous for us to request that they tell us what those movies are going to be now. Next year at Comic-Con, they're probably going to tell us their slate of 2016 and 2017. 2018 and 2019 and 2020 will probably be left on the wayside because they're still so far out. But next year, we're going to be getting some solid announcements. Although, the one thing that has me questioning that is recently we've been getting a lot of announcements outside of Comic-Con. Like Comic-Con, there wasn't really a lot that was talked about. But before Comic-Con, Marvel announced their slate of movies. After Comic-Con, DC announced their slate of movies. We got a lot more TV stuff at Comic-Con this year, which I thought was very weird. And we didn't even get anything from Fantastic Four, but that's for another time. So, in general, I mean, I hope that DC is able to get these properties under control. That they are able to really go fantastical. That they're able to separate these movies. First off, no need to do an origin. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, some of them, yes, it would be ideal to learn how they became who they became. But we know now that Batman is not going to get an origin movie. Wonder Woman is not going to get an origin movie. Green Lantern, I think, would probably be one that would deserve a good origin story, but not need to spend as much time on it. Shazam, definitely, you're going to need to have an origin, but none of the other ones really need origin stories. Just jump right in the middle of it. Have them be team-up movies like Batman v Superman. That will make it easier to introduce other characters. But with all of this news coming out, all will be revealed eventually. So we will get this information, just no telling as to when. But when we do get more information about this, I'll definitely update you guys on here. All right, and the second piece of news we need to talk about today is Warner Brothers has been kind of on a little bit of a tangent recently. Not only did they just announce their upcoming slate of DC films, or at least the release dates, along with the move of Batman v Superman, they have also gone ahead and scheduled 2 more Lego-based release dates. We don't have the titles for it yet. This seems to be all the rage nowadays, announcing release dates without the actual titles. Fox started it. A lot of people assume that Marvel did, but no, Fox started that when they had their first unannounced Marvel film scheduled for 2018. But it looks like we're getting 2 Lego movies, 2 more Lego movies. So we already have Lego Ninjago scheduled for release September 23rd, 2016, which is going to be a big departure from the Lego movie. At least story-wise, I believe that's the way that they're going. Then we're getting a true sequel, the Lego Movie 2. We're getting that in May 26th, 2017. Well, these new release dates have been added, and they are May 25th, 2018, and May 24th, 2019. So we're going to be getting year after year after year after year. We're going to be getting a Lego-based movie. Whether or not these are setups for offshoots or spin-offs of sorts, like I'm drawing a blank here. Some of the other Lego-based characters or Lego universes that you can go out and just purchase the block sets and build them. They could be one of those, but most likely it's going to be a Ninjago 2 and a Lego Movie 3 is what we're going to be getting from those. But the one curious thing that I have to ask is, what is going to be Phil Lord and Chris Miller's involvement in this property? Because to me, I feel that they were the reason as to why the Lego Movie worked so well. They are so brilliant when it comes to infusing pop culture and references and just all kinds of humor in a very heartfelt story. I mean, if you watch any of their films, from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs to 21 Jump Street to 22 Jump Street to the Lego Movie, I mean, these guys have not had a flop yet. Knock on wood. So, I mean, I want to know what their involvement is. We know for the Lego Movie 2, they are just coming back as producers. They're not going to be directing it. I think they may even be writing the treatment for it, but I'd have to look into that. But we still don't know what their involvement's going to be after the fact. If they're not involved, I don't know how these movies are going to do as well as the first one did, or at least have the same feel and heart. But only time will tell. I mean, we still got several years before these movies come out. I mean, September 23rd, 2016 is over 2 years away. 2017 is 3, 18 is 4, 19 is 5. So, I mean, we got lots of time. And I do assume that they're going to be Ninjago sequels and Lego Movie 2, or Lego Movie 3. But when we get more information about this topic, I will definitely update you guys on here. All right, the next topic that we have to talk about, Joss Whedon tweeted out the other day this great picture of him sitting there. It's all done kind of like graffiti, and he said, Avengers 2 wrapped. And then below that he goes, what the hell am I going to do now? Because if most of you may not know that once he finished filming the first Avengers movie, immediately finishing that, before he went to work on post-production, he shot that Shakespeare film, Much Ado About Nothing. He shot that at his house, one location, very small budget. It only took him like 13 or 14 days. I don't even know if it took him that long to film the movie. He just got a bunch of his friends together who all happened to be actors, and they made that movie. So a lot of people have been wondering, is he going to do another secret project after Avengers 2? And I personally don't think that he will. I think that Avengers 2 has too much post-production work to be done. I think that he is too invested in this property now, especially with overseeing all the other movies, and more importantly, thinking about whether or not he's going to re-sign his contract. Because Joss Whedon's contract with Marvel ends as soon as Avengers Age of Ultron debuts. He is no longer contracted to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe after that. Question remains, will he remain? Will he stay on and do Avengers 3 and also spearhead the connective tissue between all of the other films that are going to be coming out before that? Or, as he has talked about previously, is he going to then siege over and be the complete showrunner of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And if that happens, that show is in for a major boost. Because, I mean, Whedon, even though he has had shows in the past that haven't done the best, looking at you, Dollhouse, and Firefly. Although Firefly was amazing. It was such a good, well-created, crafted, amazing depth in the characters, great diversity in the characters. Fox just didn't have any faith in it for some reason. They aired all the episodes out of order. People got confused. They stopped watching it. They stopped advertising it, and it got canceled. And it was a great, great show. And then they did the movie, and then the movie wasn't advertised properly. Not enough people knew what it was because they didn't necessarily convey the fact that it was based off of Firefly. So diehard fans of Firefly would have gone to see it, but no one else really knew what it was, so they didn't go and see it. So, I mean, I'm really glad that he has found a great relationship working with Marvel, because Marvel really sees that this guy knows what he's doing. He has the talent, he has the knowledge, and he has the ability to go ahead and make this product almost as good as it could be. So I don't see how he wouldn't renew it, but it depends on what his creative juices are telling him. If he has another property that he wants to get off the ground that he really feels adamantly about telling, then he will most likely go and do that. But as it stands right now, he has a year's worth, or almost a year's worth, of post-production work to finish. Remember, this is a movie that is most likely going to be larger in scale with more special effects than the first Avengers movie had. And he's going to have less time to do this. Because when Captain America came out, as far as I'm aware, when Captain America came out, they were done filming. Or they were almost done filming. And they already had a little teaser to show. Well, they just wrapped filming now in August. Captain America came out in June, I think. I want to say June or the beginning of July. And this movie's going to be larger, and they have less time to do the special effects. Now, granted, special effects have become much easier to do just in the last few years in terms of the rendering process and the texture overlays and stuff like that. So maybe they could do it, but he's got a hectic post-production schedule ahead of him. So I don't see him doing another secret project. But more importantly, in regards to Age of Ultron, Josh Brolin recently did an interview hinting that he actually knows at least one additional appearance of Thanos in the next upcoming movies. For those of you who don't know, Josh Brolin has signed on to play Thanos in the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, whether or not that means that he will be popping up in every film, which is not likely at all. We saw him briefly in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has been rumored to appear in Age of Ultron, although if he does, it'll be very similar to the way that he appeared in Guardians. He'll just be an overseer, maybe through a video call or something like that. I don't really know. Or it may even just be the after credit sequence. We still don't know yet. But he has said that he knows of at least one confirmed appearance, and there's one or two that he's not sure of yet which films they are. So that means right there that we're going to get Thanos most likely, if we're to take his word as accurate and not just as saying, yeah, you know, they may throw me in a couple more, or saying that, yeah, I know of one of the movies, and I know they want me for two more, but I don't know what those are. That's not how he said it, but it's kind of paraphrasing. That most likely means that it's going to be, well, we know Avengers 3, he's going to be showing up. All points lead to Guardians 2 as him showing up as well. Avengers 2 makes sense, but then we're kind of getting overloaded with villains and people could start to get taken out of the film because it'll start to get confusing at that point. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have Guardians 2, we're going to have Avengers 3, which is going to be the final showdown, and possibly something along the lines of a small appearance in another film. Maybe Thor 3 would probably be the ideal option, because again, you can't have him pop up in Captain America 3 because Captain America is set on Earth completely, and Thanos cannot be affecting things on Earth before Avengers 3. That just wouldn't make sense. He's the Mad Titan. He is the bringer of destruction. He is just going to destroy everything. So having him show up, it wouldn't make sense. Thor is set in the cosmic world, so that makes sense for in Thor 3 for him to be introduced. Guardians 2, again, set in the cosmic world. It makes sense because that's where he is. And then the events of Guardians 2 will lead into Avengers 3. I'm almost convinced of that. That Guardians 2 will be what Captain America 2 was this year, which will be the film that has the most direct influence on the next Avengers film. I think that's going to be Guardians 2. Which means we're probably going to get a much larger role from Thanos. But I'm excited. I like the little bit that we got from him, although the CG could have used a little bit of work. But the thing that I like the most about what Josh Brolin said was he talked about Thanos' motivations. And one of the reasons why he signed on to the character was because he's courting this woman named Death, like the woman named Death. And he's obsessed with her, and it's just his search and his quest to find her and to just do as much destruction to honor her. And it's just such a twisted viewpoint to have, and I love that that's why he signed on. He's like, this guy, he compared his role of Dwight in Sin City 2 to this, because he said, he's like, take Dwight, take the looking for Ava Lord, and pump that full of steroids, and you got Thanos. So, I mean, that to me was really cool, and the fact that Josh Brolin's going to be popping up again, hopefully doing motion capture. I think the CG will look better if they use motion capture. As far as I know, they are going to. It's just they cast him late in the game. But yeah, I mean, with Avengers wrapped, we got May 1st, 2015 coming. It's on the way. It's what, 8 months away? 9 months away? We've got 9 months. 9 months till it's here. With this being August, we're hopefully going to get that Avengers footage probably in October, November that they saw at Comic-Con. So fingers crossed that we're going to get some of that stuff soon. I'm excited. I'm very excited because what Guardians and what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have done, at least for me, this year has been very serious in regards to the movies, with the exception of the Lego movie. But a lot of the movies that came out have been very serious. And these two movies, both back to back, have reinstilled like this fun sense of going to the movies for me. And really what you can experience with these. And Avengers, I think, is going to take that, but add that seriousness back into it while still allowing you to have fun and really enjoy it. And I'm very much looking forward to this. The movie comes out May 1st. If we get more information about it on here, though, I'll definitely update you guys on here. All right, and the last topic of the day is probably one of the strangest, weirdest possibilities that I could have ever thought of. Judd Apatow, the director of such films as 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up, he is developing and producing a Lonely Island movie. We're getting a Lonely Island movie. Now, we don't know anything about the film outside of the fact that it is going to be taking place within the music world. It is going to star Jorma Taccone, Akiva Schaffer, and Andy Samberg. We know that they're going to be starring in it. We know that Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Taccone are going to be directing it. And Jorma Taccone directed MacGruber, which is still one of my most underrated comedies of all time. I find that movie absolutely hysterical. It's dumb, but it's so funny. And then you have Akiva Schaffer, who directed Andy Samberg in Hot Rod several years ago, and he just most recently directed The Watch with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. Say what you will about that film. I didn't particularly like it. I felt it was made for 12-year-olds, but 12-year-olds who should not be watching that movie, made by 12-year-olds and not in the good way. So, the way that it works is with Andy Samberg being coming back for Brooklyn Nine-Nine for his TV show, unless they do night shoots, which I don't see them doing, and I don't see the urgency for this project, this movie will most likely start filming in the spring, most likely March or April, so that'll give them enough time to film it while he's on hiatus from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and starts shooting again at the end of July, beginning of August for the next season. But if they film around then, that means that we could be seeing either a likely, if it's early on in 2015 that they start filming, if that ends up being the case, we could see it as a holiday release in 2015, but most likely it'll be a spring release in 2016. Although the next several years are becoming so jam-packed with movies that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to find spots for all these smaller films. But I'm kind of on board for it. I mean, I love The Lonely Island. I love Jack Sparrow's one of my favorite songs. Obviously, I'm on a Boat is a great song. They're so funny. And Great Day is probably one of the best videos. If you type in Lonely Island Great Day on YouTube, watch it. It's hysterical. It's like 2 minutes long, but it's so random. It's so funny. These guys are just geniuses when it comes to that. So I'm excited to see what they can do with a full-blown film. Whether or not if it's going to hold up, I don't know. But the guy who did MacGruber is going to be one of the directors. So I have a lot of faith that this could be really, really funny. But if you get more information about it, I'll definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click the subscribe button there. You can get updates whenever we post a new video. You can follow me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And you can also find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Movie News with Niklsun. And until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.